delve into things I don't know, but this is what I am familiar with. I think substance cultures across a lot of cultures is a very ubiquitous thing, right? So I don't want to problematize Hmong folks and their connection to alcohol. I think there are problems, but I don't want to problematize Hmong folks and their connection to alcohol, because this is a universal human experience. I'm going to pull it all the way back to some of the things we touched on. We touched on masculinity. I think that our common Hmong and American, and thus Hmong American understandings around masculinity and how we're supposed to perform masculinity, I think there's this culture. One of my colleagues here has talked about peer pressuring, pushing others to drink. I want to pull this into patriarchy and domination, into asserting masculinity, right? The tough guy is tough because he can show others he's tough. Is that he's more of a badass? Is that he can maybe be more violent? Or even that he can disrespect someone more than the other person can, right? And that's what a masculine person is. He asserts his masculinity. He asserts his identity. He asserts his domination and power over other men and non-men, women, and queer folks and trans folks, by being able to perform this violent action, whether that's physically, emotionally, or verbally, right? Where he can then be like, yo, blah, 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 I'm going to say something rude as hell to you. I'm going to call you something really sexist, really homophobic. You can use whatever word you want to think about right now. Any of those slurs, any of those swear words. I'm going to use those words, and I'm going to make you feel bad because you're not being a man enough. You're going to be you're a B word. You're too womanly. You're F word. You're a man who likes other men. I'm going to disrespect you because I'm going to assert my dominance over you. And if you don't say nothing back, that means I am dominant over you, exactly. Right? And this is a relationship that men form with one another. So, and this is how drinking culture operates in Hmong culture, and to be perfectly honest, in a lot of other cultures, in a lot of other patriarchal cultures, where men are held to be the one in power, and men are held to be the one who are supposed to dominate others with verbal or physical violence. In this case, we're talking about drinking culture, right? So we were being verbal about being the tough guy and making the other person feel bad about it. I think that, so that's the masculinity piece. I also think about Hmong culture in terms of trauma culture, in terms of that we've also adhered to trauma, adhere to alcohol and substances because we want to attempt to keep our culture alive, and we've hyper-emphasized alcohol in our culture because we've been so destroyed by war and displacement and being refugees. And that one of the pieces that we've always have, and I believe this because, like I said earlier, cultures have always had some substance cultures, and that's been part of the way they've connected to each other. But I think we hyper-emphasized it and we perverted it and we turned it into something toxic. Is that we used to